If you don't want to be like everyone else, then you have to make the sacrifices others aren't willing to make. That's what my mentor told me in my early 20s, and it's stuck with me ever since. I started out with no qualifications and no money, but still managed to become a multimillionaire, and a big part of that was avoiding 7 specific mistakes. The first thing to avoid is working only for money. If you take a high-paying but boring job, you'll make decent money early on, your friends will admire you, and your family will be proud. But eventually, your growth and income will plateau. On the other hand, if you take a low-paying but challenging job, it may be tough in the beginning and your friends might think you're falling behind. But over time your skills will grow, and so will your earning potential. The key difference is that the second path prioritizes skills and equity over immediate money, which is how most self-made millionaires actually succeed. When I left school at 16, I had no qualifications but was offered several jobs. I chose to be a carpenter's apprentice. The pay wasn't great, but I valued the skills I would learn. Though I didn't get equity, I was building a foundation beyond just money. That experience, even though I eventually quit due to bullying, taught me skills I still use today while running my best-selling brand of remote-controlled planes. When you develop a variety of high-income skills, you become your most valuable asset. I often compare my skill set to a Swiss Army knife, each job adding a new blade. Today, I'd suggest learning online high-income skills like copywriting, video editing, or coding. The demand for these skills is increasing, and most people in the field aren't even that good. Your competition is weaker than you think. Now, the second thing to avoid is ignoring equity. Equity means owning a part of a business and benefiting from its profits. You can earn it by starting your own business, gaining sweat equity by being highly skilled, or buying into companies, but only if you have the skills to help them grow. Take my brand of model planes. Because I own it, I earn the profits. My friend Simon Squibb always tells people to ask for equity or start their own business. And while that's great advice, you need self-awareness. Don't expect equity as an apprentice with no experience. First, prove your value. You can't demand equity unless you've earned the right to. Too many people chase money while ignoring the long-term benefits of equity and skills, which is why most never build real wealth. Third, stop doing everything yourself. Even if you're skilled, you can't outwork a group of talented people working together. Elon Musk didn't build his companies alone. He was part of the PayPal mafia, tech pioneers who later built YouTube, Yelp, LinkedIn, and SpaceX. They helped each other succeed. Even if you're just doing a side hustle, don't underestimate the value of teamwork. Many older business owners struggle with modern tools, and if you know how to use software like Odoo, which handles websites, invoices, and project tracking, you can make money helping them. I used Odoo to rebuild a gardening business's outdated website. With simple drag-and-drop tools and AI content helpers, I created a modern site in 30 minutes. You can offer the same service and earn well. Odoo even gives one app free for life with hosting and a domain. Fourth, avoid having too many inputs. Everyone has an opinion about what you should do. Be a doctor, start a business, get a job, travel. Too many paths create cognitive overload and paralyze decision-making. The solution is to define your end goal and work backwards. Only listen to advice that moves you toward that goal. Cut out general opinions and seek insight from real experts or mentors. Focused advice is better than lots of random noise. Learn one thing deeply before moving on to the next. Otherwise, you'll feel mentally exhausted and stuck. Fifth, don't let your ego get in the way. Arrogant people think they know everything and stop learning. They skip ahead, ignore details, and miss out on key lessons. Ego-driven people dream of success but avoid the small steps that actually get them there. True wealth requires humility and the willingness to learn from others. Knowledge is like an iceberg. What you know is just the tip, and the real depth is hidden below. Arrogance blinds you to that. Sixth, avoid blaming others. There's a Chinese proverb that says, "The man who blames others is far from the path. The man who blames himself is halfway. And the man who blames no one has already arrived." You have two tools in life, a magnifying glass or a mirror. If you constantly use the magnifying glass to focus on others' faults, you'll fall into the blame game. You might blame a teacher for bad grades, traffic for being late, or the government for your failures. But the more you blame others, the more excuses you create. Instead, use the mirror. Focus on what you can control, your thoughts and actions. That's how you grow. Finally, don't stay static. Your comfort zone might feel safe, but it's a trap. Most people never leave it, and almost half say they'll regret it. To grow, you must expand your circle. I did this by taking risks, from becoming an apprentice to experimenting with side hustles, starting a business, traveling to China to find a manufacturer, and even starting a YouTube channel at 53. I left the familiar behind to reach new heights. The comfort zone is a prison, and the only way out is to take action. You can expand your space infinitely, but only if you're willing to push. If you want to know what to do every time you get paid, check out the next video, and subscribe if you want to build wealth. I'll see you over there.